The whole world has a decision to make. There's a lot of people on this earth, and everyone wants more of their own space, in this country especially. Buffalo's pattern is probably more apparent in older cities with larger suburbs, but most U.S. cities generally unfold like this. Pre-industrial revolution core, very close together. Even among rich folks, there's not much of a concept of having your own bit of land in the city. Most of the packed buildings that housed poor folks, long since torn down. After the Industrial Revolution, the rise in the American middle class start to see more of a stakeout for space. Bigger houses, usually separated by a narrow driveway, a small front and backyard. For the adults that would have been the children growing up in those tenements in the 1890s, this was the definition of luxury. They had never known personal space from their neighbors. After the war, first-ring suburbs pop up in a single decade. The houses don't tend to be as big as their 1920s counterparts, but the trend of having more space continues, and we see bigger lawns with more separation between the houses. For those adults who would have been kids during the Depression, this was the definition of luxury. These suburbs were the cat's pajamas. They had everything. And then in maybe the 70s or 80s or all the way through the 2000s, the trend continues. We keep building more houses. This time they're bigger, and the yards keep getting bigger with more space in between them. And though not on this timeline, the rest of the rich world seems to be following the same trend. Human beings want luxury, but how long is this going to go on for? Are rich societies going to build more houses with more land in between them forever? Are poor societies just going to do the exact same thing the moment they get the chance to develop? When does that end? How does the earth look after all that? Not having an answer for this, I just turned to propose a different future for Buffalo. We're still sprawling out, and our population is not growing. What about the massive cities of the world that have tens of thousands more people every time a new census comes out? People have to do right by their families, and they have a million different reasons for living where they want to live. But I want to invite the reflection. Do we have to continue on a trend for the sake of the trend, or do we want to actually answer the question? What do we really want? What is luxury for us? This is the decision that the entire world is faced with. Two definitions of luxury and personal space. One, luxury is owning more personal space. Or two, luxury is being able to walk to most of the places that I need to get to. I have an amazing restored house on a quiet street, and I can get out to nature pretty easily because we didn't part and parcel every acre of land nearby. Then that's personal space. More Chestnut Ridge, more Beaver Island, more Allegheny, because thousands of acres where I never have to look at anybody is a lot more personal space than a 1 acre lot. Do we see that world in these older neighborhoods? Because they still do have everything. They've got nice parks, they've got pools, libraries, ice rinks, schools, nice houses. Let's revamp. Let's gut these ranches. Let's open up the floor plan in these caves and old 1920s houses. Let's do some cool stuff with the public amenities in these neighborhoods. That picture of Buffalo is so clear because every time we repurpose or restore something old, we friggin' love it. That's what Larkinville is. That's what Cobblestone is. And I think we love it because we know we move forward instead of just move. I can see that Buffalo as clear as day. The way to get there looks a lot like every other improvement in Buffalo. Individuals deciding first that that's the future they want, starting small until larger forces are willing to work on bigger projects, putting in the work to create a lasting Buffalo that answers some of these questions before the rest of the world even thinks to ask them.